Welcome to Parentalk. I'm Rob Parsons and I'm the chairman of Care for the Family. You know, when my wife and I first had children, I don't think we had any idea of the range of emotions that were about to hit us. Excitement, joy, but also panic, fear, sometimes plunging low self-esteem, and sometimes all of that within the space of a single hour.
I like to think we do listen to them. We probably tell them more things than listen.
When they're watching TV, sometimes the focus on the TV so much, they're like, yeah, and don't really listen.
Sometimes it's quite incessant, and I can switch off, and sometimes I get shouted at that I'm not being listened to. That she's not being listened to. At which point I start listening again.
I find it really difficult to listen to the boys when they're talking about something that they're interested in, because the fact that they're children means that they're interested in things that generally I'm not that interested in.
The things I like to talk about are what's going to happen in Doctor Who next.
The boys mainly like to talk to us about computer games, where they are on a game.
Pokemon, like Pikachu and Dratini and Croconaw and Graveler and Geodude.
Sounds like a foreign language. It's
does to me anyway.
Dragonair and Dragonite, Totodile, Bayleaf, Chikorita, Weedle and Beedrill and Kakuna. Done.
Oh, you show interest, but you don't understand what they're talking about.
No.
Put that ball away.
I can't find it.
Swap.
Kids, come and get your lunchbox.
Slow down. Oh, come on, let's go, go. Quick.
Of course they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
The world is going crazy and the lines for rules are getting blurred. So I think, yeah, they need boundaries set.
If they don't have a strict schedule, then how will they learn what it's like later on?
They don't know anything about life, so they really need to be taught and, trained for life, really. Because we are busy, we tend to give them material things, we spoil them a little bit, and we don't always give them the discipline that they need.
Children do need boundaries because, it could be dangerous, boundaries to stop them from doing bad and, going out and doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
If you've got children who will behave when you go out, even if they're little terrors when you're at home, you're not doing too badly.
It's always a balance, isn't it, between keeping them safe and letting them go. And of course, ultimately, with their parents, we have to keep them safe. So it's that tussle, isn't it? It's why being a parent is such a tough job.
Well, I think one of the things that we can help our children with is this whole business of helping them move to independence. We can help them by equipping them to make little choices, giving them the opportunity to make little choices about things that actually aren't that important when they're little. So are they going to wear red socks or blue socks today, or for their packed lunch, do they want cheese in their sandwich or meat or whatever it is? What colour do they want to paint their room? What clothes do they want to wear? And as we do that, I think we're helping them make those choices about the little things that then equips them and builds trust, actually, and helps them make the decisions about the more important things as they grow up. And I guess that's what we've been talking about, really, equipping our children for independence. And so out of all that, Diane, what would be your top tip that you'd want? If there's one thing that you could say to parents from this session.
Well, I would say that if you want your children to catch your values, then the best thing to do is to model them
Model, model, model.
Brilliant.
Family life for me is incredibly busy because I've got 3 small boys and they're all quite dependent upon me. So it's pretty much constant from the time I get up to the time they go to bed. And then sometimes afterwards, so obviously you've got things to do to prepare for the next day. The biggest challenge I face as a mum is not having any time to myself. It feels like it's constant, mum, 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 I need this, I want that, or fights and arguments break out and you have to deal with that. You have to drop everything to deal with something, and I think it can be quite wearing. If I had all the time in the world, I'd like to have my house perfect. I'd like to have it clean and tidy and not have it messed up the moment you have tidied it up. I'd be able to do all my DIY without any interruption, just be able to get my life together. I think my natural inclination would be to want to go out to work. I suppose in some ways you feel a little bit like you've put your life on hold, which sounds awful, but my life is the same all the time. I don't have that kind of break of going to the workplace, so I can find that difficult. All of my children are different. My oldest son would tend to kick off for any given reason, and you could be in a public place, he wouldn't care, he would scream the place down, and everyone would be looking at you, and that's happened to me a number of times in like supermarkets and places like that. People stop and say, you know, are you okay? And you think, I just want to get out of here. This is horrendous. I don't really know what to do with him. I am aware that people are watching me, and you feel like your parenting's being assessed. Yes, there's this constant pressure almost to perform as a parent. I'd say that there are lots of highs and lots of lows to being a parent. It can be very rewarding, but there are a lot of challenges. I've had to learn as I go, so I'm a very different parent now, having 3 children as opposed to when I had 1. I have had to learn basically not to worry about what other people think. I just have to do what I think is best. It is a learning process. Things change, you react differently to things all the time, but yeah, it's definitely rewarding.